Yo. All right. We're back. All right. Back here. Programming. What do you know? Um. We'll be taking a stab at our project again. Welcome back in, everybody. Hope you're having a good day today. All right. Let's get started. We got our Mountain Dew. We ready to go. We're juiced. All right. So last time we left off on adding in, I believe, the sources router, finalizing that. Right. We got that kind of all taken care of. So that will get all sources and then create a source, right? So we have the ability now, I guess, we have product, right? So product has to create a product. Sorry, I keep going to the wrong things. To create a product, we need all of the instances of product base. You need a brand ID, category ID, type ID, size ID, cost of goods. So we need the sizes as next, I believe. Okay, and then we have class. Go to database, seed runner. We have sizes here. I guess what we'll do here is we'll add on to our guy here, and we'll say that's content. What we'll do is we'll say how should we do the paint? Hmm. How should we code the pants, right? So we have these general keys which correspond to sizing keys, and these are tied to the various categories of clothing, right? And so if we were to have, so what this is going to have is bottom sizing keys numeric right now, right? But I guess bottoms, which is jeans, pants, leggings, shorts, and skirts. They need to have a like a width or a waist and an inseam, right? And so, how can we pre-code? No, this is just for fun. We've been building it. All we do is build projects for fun. Well, this is part of my small business that I do, but we'll see if it has any merit. All right, so I'm thinking that I don't really know if we would need to somehow work in the waist and the inseam into the sizes. I don't know. I think I will go to the orb here and ask. If you remember correct, we were using this sizing dictionary key corresponding to the keys within uh, the individual the size, the categories and clothing types, right? So each clothing category is linked to a specific size key, so that we can use that key for filtering and displaying the appropriate sizing metric. Now, my question is bottoms, right, or pants, right? So the instance where you have waist and inseam 30 32 30 30 36 33 like or not 36 34 like all those inseam and by waist metrics, what's a good way we could work this in? And I mean, right now we have keys with corresponding values of lists. I guess I could just have maybe separate the bottoms out into, okay, what actually gets um maybe bottoms need, the things that are affected by this need to be a little bit more distinguished, so they will, the bottoms kind of get separated out where jeans get assigned this kind of special sizing property, whereas leggings get like the 0 to or whatever. um I'm not exactly what's kind of, yeah, let's get some thoughts on that. This is my vibe coding edits. I just I talk, have conversation. What's going on? What the heck? I'm all dusty, crusty. My hand. What did I touch? Important thing is your size key isn't really describing a list of values, it's describing a sizing system. That's right. Once we think about it that way, it becomes easier to extend. Probably what it makes bottoms itself special. It probably makes sizing system more expressive. For example, I think of terms as waist inseam. The question is what waist inseam looks like. Generate it. You don't store every combination. Store the possible waist and inseams separately. Then your front end can generate. Treat it as two fields. This is actually how many e-commerce platforms handle it. You have size equals this, which comes from waist. Is that not the same? Very similar, but one architectural difference. One has logical size value. Product still has a single field. The front end simply helps the users build that value. Okay. Had some good ideas. Okay, so let's think here. So if we have waist, right, which be a list of values. And so let's go ahead and rip the waist values it did give us. I'll take those. I'm going to type those up. So it would look like this. Waist and inseam. Okay, right? So then the size key. So if we have sizes here in this, bottoms, so we have a size, and we have waist and inseam attached in here with these values. So the sizing key provided would be waist inseam, and it would get both of these on the front end via sizes. I mean, we could do a 2x2 array, but so if we made it waist inseam as the key here in the bottoms, what kind of effects would that have? So obviously all of these would have to have this. And so when we do this here, right? We would get sizes here, right? So if category is bottoms, we would want to say clothing sizes is this, else clothing sizes is that, right? So it'd be if the category is equal to quote bottoms, right? Then the clothing size is equal to how do we want to do this? We could make a tuple of waist and inseam values, right? Goes to a list of data, right? We're going into data, which is the values of each of these keys. So we have bottoms and we have size key, waist, inseam. Okay, so actually is if size key, so if category equals to bottoms, right? We actually don't really care about that. If the size key equals to so if clothing size is right, so we'll say if size is data size key, sort of data sorry, I wrote this a little bit ago, I gotta remember. It's been a few days since I programmed. So our data is this thing here, or is each dictionary corresponding to the key string, right? So the category and then the corresponding information object for size key. Okay, got you. So we would want to get the size key. Perfect. Okay, got you. So data size key, if that is equal to quote waist inseam, right? Clothing or right. So we would want to set the, because we're adding each category. Right, we're adding each category in at this point in time. So then how would we add in preset waist inseam values? We haven't set up our sizing, actually our sizing table either. We just have an ID, so we kind of need to do a few things here. Hey, what's up, Danny? I'm building my project here. Okay. Interesting. I don't really know what I want to do here for the sizes. That's the tough part here. Okay, so let's think this through. If we come across the waist inseam key, saying okay, this specific category has a size indication of waist inseam. We always want to see if this waist inseam is in there. But I guess we don't want to give all of those values. So maybe let's actually take this and let's get some more feedback here. Let's dive deeper. And then say, so maybe actually I don't want to save these waist inseam values in the database as like in the sizes database, but rather as enums, maybe for like preset values that can be combined together, because this is how I currently have it, and I need to start figuring out how to build a model to be dynamic for all of this. I guess sizes would have waist inseam nullable in its field. But I don't need like a Get product storage size is simple. Hold on, I'm trying to read through this. Product base sizing foreign key. Okay, let's think. Okay, so this is tough. This is tough. So I'm really confused if this on which size system to go with here. Okay, so let's do. This seeds my D2Bs with. So the size is waste inseam here. Now this is waste inseam, but this doesn't really do anything for us because. Okay, so let's try this. Let's create a new model called our size system. Let's do from SQL Alchemy import base, right? Oh, extension, sorry. Okay. No, I have a degree in biology. What's going on, stray boar? Okay, so we're going to do a class size system taken from base. It's going to have an ID, which is a column UUID from SQL Alchemy import column UUID is equal to a column UUID, and I forgot, hold on. As UUID true primary key default. Okay. Size system. Column UUID as true. Okay, primary key default. We import UUID to get access to the default. Okay, name is equal to column string maximum 25. Right, then we have like the stir, yeah, and then unique is true here. Right, something like that. Okay, so our size system will get values of a specific size key from our seed runner, right? So we can already have this set up. We have, these are going to be our size systems, right? And then the size systems are going to point to various sizes in our table, right? So if we have a size here in our sizes table, hold on, we need a size system. Okay, so then we have the size system. So our table name, now what we're going to have here is size is going to have a right, is going to have a value associated with it, which is going to be a column of string, right? We have a value, which is a column of string, and then we're going to have a size system ID, right? And that's going to be a column to a foreign key right? Foreign key of quote size system the ID size systems to that table, right? Pretty easy. So in our seed runner here, let's open this up. We would need to do from models size system import size system from models size import size. Okay. Okay. So what are we going to do? Well, we're going to create a size off of all of these values inside of there, right? So we know our category is a size system, right? So we'll say here in size system category. No, our size systems are the keys of this sizes dictionary. Right? So the sizes dictionary is here. We're accessing. And we're going to get, so actually it would be not even in this loop. Okay, so let's just get rid of this for now. So we would say for size sys in sizes.keys, right, we're going to take a existing is equal to a database dot scalar, right? And we're going to go for the statement of size system dot we need to select a size system, and we need to do dot where what? Where size system dot name, right? Where size system dot name is equal to the given size system. Right here. So we say if existing, right? So if we are, it shouldn't never come across it, but we'll just be so if existing is none, right? Then we're going to do database dot add the size system, and we're going to want to add size system for ID gets generated, name is equal to a string of size system here. I guess we'll just be consistent here. All right. So that'll add the size system into our database, and then it'll get committed. So we probably just want to we don't use it again, so we don't need to I don't think we don't need to flush because we're not accessing the um, I believe so. Okay, so we have size system which gets created here off of name. Okay, so now I'll have all of our size systems in there. right? So now what we need to do is go into the size system here. Once we access the category, right, which is this, intimates, we get the size key. This will point us to a size system, right? And then the size system tells us which size to add and link to this category, right? Because the size we link it to a size system ID, and then we also would link it to the category goes to a size ID. Or I'm sorry, the product has a size ID. And for various a little confused here. I don't think that we have categories here, which are these keys. And we're adding all the size systems in. Okay. For every category and its corresponding data, clothing types is here. So we'll say size key, right? We'll just extract out the size key is the data key of just size key, right? Okay, we have size key for the corresponding category. We would search for that size key in our database. Or no, we should already have it. So what we can do then, I think, is we just take a size. Oh, we need to make a size though. We need to assign this. Oh, I'm getting confused. I should have wrote stuff down. So the size key is data key of size key, right? I'm not sure we need to do this here. We just need to, we created all of our systems, size systems. And then we need to now go through each of the size systems. No. Create a size and assign it a size system. So a size is going to have a size system ID, right? Okay. So we need to say for actually key value. So these are sizes. To the list. I think we can do that. No. So for key values, for size system and sizes, or we don't have, oh crap. Okay. We're going to okay, that's fine. We're going to create the size system. Now we can make all these sizes here. So we need to do a size. And to make a size, we need to provide it a value and a size, a system size, right? So the value is going to be equal to, okay, so this we're going to do for size. We're running out of variable names. All right, we're going to create a size for every size here, and then assign it a value of s, and the size system equals to. So if we add, this returns none. So we need to use it right away. So we have to run database.flush. And we have to flush on the so we flush. We need to capture the system size actually outside of the construct, the add here. Right. I guess our variable names are garbage right now. We'll have to clean it up. But so then we add that, we flush, we have access to it. We give this dot ID. Now that'll create a size for every single instance of our size system and link it appropriately. So the thing is, let's think here, is the size list is going to be, it's going to come across waste and make that a size system, and then also inseam and make that a size system. And all the sizes in waste are going to become sizes. Got you. So I think that is our function. So now, hold on. Category doesn't link anywhere. Product links to a specific size. Right? We don't link anywhere else to size besides size system here to there. Okay. So if we take this, and I believe that if it gets a little bit of, hold on. If we get a little bit of feedback here on our function, I think we'll be okay. Okay, so we have a problem here with size system scope. System size scope is wrong. Problem is already, if the system size already exists, right, which it shouldn't technically in the script. The system size I've never assigned. So we say size system, size list, and sizes.items. System size object equals to okay, so you would just override it. System size object equals to this. If system size object equals to none, then do this. And override the system size object with what you have. You add and then you flush. Sorry, this needs to be indented. And each here. Then for every size in the list, database add size value. Boom. And then we have to do, what is it? We have to need to add this specific size. Right, so we add the specific size in, and then we should be good to go. System size and name. Okay. I mean, we're doing this twice, but we can abstract it out if we wanted to and do it, just save it as a normalized, name normalized. Because we'll probably maybe add it as a normalized name in case they want to add a system size here and any sub sizes accordingly. But that might just be strictly developer stuff. So I think that so category ID for clothing type. All right, hold on. There's something going on with our clothing type here. Okay, so we need to. I think we're missing something. We got a lot of people. Yo, what's up, Pro Tips? Hey, Tamerlan, welcome in. um, hey, King Spell. Yeah, I'm just trying my best to build a project here. I use AI as a good resource to talk through my thoughts and be another rubber duck, basically, like CS50 taught me, and I stick with those principles, basically. Came across your channel, pretty cool. Hey, Dylan, any advice on someone learning to code with Python? I started with Harvard CS50P. I read Python Crash Course. I then took Harvard CS50X while reading data structures and algorithms in Python. I completed a couple full stack, very basic chemical simulation projects that I tied my major into programming. I then took that knowledge and built an actual script for my work that was pretty cool. It had a lot of actual real business application for our chemical formulation as a biochemist. Then I started learning more about C. I started building a project in C. I built like a little timer project. We kept going with more full stack projects in Python and stuff. We built Polywhirl, which is a polymarket data aggregation project that you can polywhirl.app. Go check it out. Honestly, it's just sitting here time after time, hour after hour, day after day, building a little bit by little bit. Next thing you know, you have a project. Next thing you know, you have another project. Next thing you know, another project. But it's been over the course of over 2 years now. So, and I don't have a job in this. I just do this for fun. I would like to have a job as a developer. I just don't want to do leak code. I don't really. I'm pretty stubborn about how I spend my time and stuff. I do things that I want to do. I'm a grown man. I was forced to do a lot of things as a kid that I didn't want to do. And as a result, I kind of am rebelling, I guess, in terms of I have a motto as an adult where if I don't want to spend my time doing something, I'm not going to. You can say that's privilege, or you can say that's a bad way to look at it. I don't know. Or you can say that this just I know my morals. I life's too short, so I I got a comment saying that I'm wasting my time because I jump from project to project or topic to topic. I should dive deeper or whatnot, and all I responded back with was, "It's my time. I'll choose how to spend it," or something like that. And so it's just kind of funny. Anyways, Okay, where were we though? So we need. So after we. Okay, so we get a size key. So we would get a size key from the specific. Yeah, we would get a size key. And then we need to take that size key and create a clothing type that links to a category ID. I'm getting a little bit confused here. I think I'm trying to do too much at once here. Okay, so we have sizes. These are going to be our size systems, and these are our sizes that correlate and link to size systems. Okay? The size key for each category so for all hats have this size key, right? But that might be too generic. So we might have to say, okay, clothing types, hats, size key. So it's actually going to be size key is going to play a role on a lower level. So you're going to have clothing types, right? Cool. And this is going to be a dictionary of clothing types. Okay? And each dictionary of a clothing type key is going to have a corresponding value of a sizing dictionary. So primary size, right, is going to be equal to quote. So primary size is going to be equal to quote alpha, right? Secondary size is going to be equal to none, right? Something like that. So each corresponding, now it's kind of annoying because they have all the same, right? But now what we can do is go, okay, hats have these clothing types, right? Beanie, baseball cap, bucket hat. Not sure why those have spaces, whoops. And then primary size is alpha, secondary size is none, right? So that would have a similar approach here as well. Okay, so this is what AI is good for, is I'm going to have it do this. Can you finish the refactor on this data object for sizes on a lower level? Okay, cool. So now that's what I like to use AI for. It's just kind of stuff like that, where I already figured out the structure I was going to do it, and I need to apply it to a bunch of things, just like a glorified copy and paste. Okay, cool. So now we have hats with all these clothing types, tops with these clothing types and these sizing keys, bottoms with these clothing types and these sizing keys, dresses, shoes, accessories, yada yada yada, intimates, other. Right, one size. Cool. So what we're gonna do is now we need to say so nothing changes with that first sizes part, right? Nothing changes with that. What changes with the second part of our loop, which is here, second part of our function, the second for loop. So for every category in data, category is intimate and data is clothing types. So we'll do that. We'll say for every category, because I get this a little bit confused. So category and clothing types dict, right? So we're going to go into clothing types dictionary and access hold on, no data. Okay, it is data, sorry. It is data, and then clothing type is the key inside of data. Okay, so what we're gonna do is actually back that thing up. For data dictionary, clothing types, now we have clothing types here. So this is a dictionary. So if can we type in this as a dict? Yes. So now we have clothing types. So clothing type, we're gonna have for clothing type, right? And size dict. It's a bunch of for loops, right? So for clothing type and size dict in the clothing types, right? Well, we want to access, we want to make a clothing type of under, okay. So we're making a category here already for the specific clothing type. So we want to move this down real quick. After we add the category in, so after we add the category in, we're going to want to go to my brain's getting cold. Oh my god. I'm about ready to just delete this whole function and start over. I'm building a like a CRUD app for kind of more like clothing inventory, I guess, and for automating yeah, I guess just like an inventory for clothing, but it's pretty robust, I guess, and it's gonna be used for tracking our sales and stuff. Um, but so if clothing type is none, okay, hold on. So we have clothing types here. We create category, and a category has nothing associated with it. The individual clothing type, the clothing type links to a category and also has to have now a system. So a size system ID of size systems dot ID, right? So our clothing type now has a size system ID. Okay? So we create a clothing type here, and we need to provide a I'm just going to get rid of this. Oh, this doesn't return. Oh yeah, this does return. Okay, so if clothing type is none, we add the clothing type. Right, we say name, normalized name, category ID, and then we also provide the size system ID. So we create the clothing type for the size system ID. Now we already have so we'd have to bro, I'm trolling. So we have the size system ID being generated on a clothing type, which is exactly what we want. So the size system ID though needs to be passed from we would need to get the size system, right? We'd have to I freaking suck. I need a rebalance here. Oh, that's right. Sorry. So clothing type needs primary size system ID and secondary size system ID, right? And primary size system ID, and then the size systems no, sorry, it's just system ID, right? And it's called primary and secondary, and it links it. Nullable can be true here. For secondary, okay? Okay. So now we have a clothing type It's generated here. Now we need to get a primary and secondary ID from the loop that we're doing here. So for every category in data dictionary, right, we have clothing types here. Clothing types is a dictionary. We can say clothing type system equals to, so clothing types. So we have to say for key value in clothing types dictionary. Oh my gosh, I'm so trash. Okay, I'm gonna remove this crap. For clothing type and clothing type. Clothing type equals database scalar. So look what clothing type where. ID here. If clothing type is none, database.add clothing type. Yeah, it's items. So for clothing type and size data, it's right here. Dot items, right? We would take the clothing type is equal to database.scalar, so like clothing type, where clothing type.name is equal to the clothing type, and category ID equal to the category ID. If clothing type is none, we add clothing type where size ID clothing type. And we select where, okay, good. If is none, here. So if it's none, if the clothing type is none, primary size system is equal to database dot scalar for select size system dot where size system dot name is equal to, what is the name of the size system going to equal to? Well, size data key of primary key, primary size. So then the secondary key system right is going to be secondary size. Right. So actually, we would do like secondary size system is equal to none off the jump here. We would say if size data key of secondary size is none, right? If it's none, which we can just say if this, then secondary size system equals to a call of scalar select size system where name equals to secondary size. And then we would add clothing type, and then this would be what, primary size ID. So clothing type, primary size system ID, secondary size system ID. Right, would equal to the what? The primary size system.id. And we'd have secondary.id here. And we'd flush the database. Oh. So we have to check for secondary size system because you don't want to say override it with, you don't want to do this if it's none, right? Yeah. Then you flush. Okay. I'm just gonna do this. Just do it, get it clean. Okay, so I think that that is fine. Don't think I'm using this anymore. Yes, I am. Can I not type those? Oh, I keep always forgetting you can't type those, I guess, with the items. Okay. I think that that's fine. Let's give that a peek here. Typo secondary size. Okay, so if I have a typo. So if secondary size if size data secondary size, there it is. Size system object. The size system object is here. But then later, apparently, select size system. Oh, what's going on? Select size system where size system name equals size primary size. Oh, because we're not normalizing name. It wants us to normalize the name. Right. So then after we add a category, right, we need to after we add category, we flush here. Because we access the category here. So we need to make sure we have access to it in the database for the flush. So here if we say dot where select size dot where size dot value is equal to don't want to normalize existing size, and then we say none here. Then we'll add to the database where, so existing size is where size dot value equals s. Oh, and then also size dot size system dot id equals to the size system ID has to be equal to the system size object dot ID, right? So that'll give us an existing size. System ID, and then we have to add in the specific size by saying value size system. Yeah. Okay. I think that is fine for right now. And so we probably need to do here. Select source dot where what source dot name source and dot where. Do you chain multiple wheres? I think it's fine because it'd be normalized name there. Let me say then you would add the existing source here. Yeah, I think so. Right. Add a state check for missing size systems. Oh no, that's stupid. I already have those. So size ID, system size ID. So product. Product size ID will become primary size ID and secondary size ID. Yeah, primary size ID and secondary size ID will take over the size ID at the product level. So we have primary and secondary size. Secondary can be none. Right. Well, I have these at the clothing type actually. So the size ID and sizes, specific size system, and value. So no, that would not be the case. That links to just a specific size ID. Wait, where do we have primary size and secondary size? So the product yeah, primary and a secondary size. Okay. Cool. So what did we do? Well, our product has a primary size and secondary size now instead of just the size ID, right? So we have two size IDs, one trumps one, these both work together kind of, right? So from there, we have to have a size, right? So a size has a value and an ID and a system ID, system size system, right? So the size system is basically like almost like a category, I guess, which is kind of interesting. So the size systems are the categories of clothing and the corresponding sizes that they have. I guess that would be a category. It'd be like sizes associated with a specific category. That would be clothing types. No, it's not. So, sorry, where was I? So a size has a size system ID. Right, yeah. Jeans get so a size has a size system ID. Yeah, corresponding size system associated with it. So extra extra small has an alpha size system ID with a value of extra extra small. So size system then, right, has name and ID. So these are the size systems. Yeah. And then each clothing type beanie, baseball cap, bucket hat has an associated category and a primary and secondary size ID, size system ID. Yeah. I think that this is good. Okay, so what would we do to test this? Well, we need to docker compose down -v. We would need to do docker compose up -d. We would need to do uvcorn main we would need to do uvcorn mace. No, not here. Uvcorn main server main app. Foreign key associated with column clothing types primary size system ID could not find table size systems which to generate a foreign key to target column ID. So we don't have a table size systems. Okay. So let me go to my main and we'll import here from metadata size system. Okay, that worked. So now we have those tables created. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go like this. We're going to run python-m server dot database dot seed runner. Oh shoot. A module named server dot database dot seed runner. Oh, underscore. Okay, and it worked. So now if I go here, cd into server, let's open up Docker, select all from size systems. Numeric, alpha, one size, shoe, US women's, shoe, US men's, waist, inseam. Okay, it's working. Okay, select all from clothing types. Okay, beanie, baseball, bucket hat, shirt, blouse, tank top, sweater, hoodie, crew neck, coat, blazer, vest, jeans, pants, leggings, shorts, blah, 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 blah. Cool. Select all from sizes. Okay, so you have of this value, all these numeric ones, which correspond to the same system size. Nice. All of the, which is alpha, which is numeric. All the alphas correspond to the alphas. Nice. The one size corresponds to the other one size. The shoes correspond here. And then you get men's shoes, or men's shoes. Then you get here, which is going to be waists, right? 26 down. Then you have 28, which is inseams, 336. Yes. All right, that's good. That is good. All right, nice. I think we got it all. And then we'll route sizes to this. Okay. Cool. That looks good. So I know that might be kind of hard to tell, right? But it's working appropriately. Now we could just add name normalize to the sizes, right? But it's kind of arbitrary. We don't really need to. We have name normalized there. So size as a value. Or seed runner, I think it's good. Let's take it. You can double check before we head out. Primary size system could be none. I don't think so. I might change the sneakers to be something different. What? Okay, I'm kind of confused on some of these edits. I think it messed up here. Primary size. Wellington. My size system. All right, guys. I think I'm gonna head out for today. How'd you get good at coding and building project? Um, Honestly, I'm a little like apprehensive to answer this question because I think it's pretty subjective in terms of I don't really think I'm that good. Now you might be like, dude, like I can barely write a for loop. What do you mean? Like I said, it's completely subjective. And I don't have a lot of I don't have peers. I don't have coworkers that program or stuff. I don't have or like dev program. I don't have classmates that do this. So I really don't know if this is like advanced or is like good. So if you have any opinions, let me know. I know my function's long. I need to refactor it, right? But maybe that's why we're stuck. We're confused here. But I'm trying to figure out. There should be a name, normalized name of source. So we select source where normalized name is normalized name of source, not name. We add normalized name of source here. I think that is. But clothing types has the same problem. What? So we look for normalized name of CT of name. Normalize name of CT. Yeah, like that. So that will normalize the name, check against the name normalized, and then also match the category ID. Okay, so the primary size system. So we want to look up actually wherever it says primary size and make it primary size system. Yeah, all those. Yeah, all those. Here, primary size system, database scalar. So we would have to primary size system here. Select size system where size system equals a name normalized name. So this could be none. Even if it may seem silly, just go for fun. Nice, Marty! Alright, guys, thanks so much for being here and hanging out with me. Appreciate you guys. I'm going to call it for today. This was a fun one, and we'll refactor this